Have you ever stopped to think about what it means to fight at the edge of life, when even breathing feels like an effort beyond human capacity? That's right, Shiryu has lived through this more than once, but against Death Mask, his body truly reached its limit. Imagine the weight of carrying not only your own life, but also the honor, dreams, and hopes of your friends. When justice and evil collide in Saint Seiya, it's not just a clash of fists, it's a war of ideals. And in that instant, Shiryu shows us that the cosmos can shine even brighter when everything seems lost. The fight begins charged with tension. Death Masked, arrogant, and cruel, tramples on every word of honor, mocking Shiryu's worth and the idea of justice he carries. The Dragon Knight, even wounded, doesn't back down. He knows that if he falls, it won't just be his life. Ending there, it will be the symbol of resistance against the forces that want to turn the sanctuary into a stage of tyranny. Every blow he takes is like thunder exploding in his body. Every fall, a reminder that he might not get back up again. But Shiryu was never the kind of man to give up. Remember that classic moment when Shiryu was nearly out of strength, bleeding, his eyes clouded by pain. That's when the essence of the character explodes. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and silently speaks to his own heart. He knows that if the dragon falls, Death Mask will trample everything he and his brothers fought to protect. So even with his body begging for rest, he finds a hidden spark inside, a flame that grows with every heartbeat. It's the awakening at the edge of life. And let's not forget, while Death Mask radiates hatred and scorn, Shiryu reveals the strength of purity. He doesn't fight just for himself. He fights for Seisha, hyoga, ikki, for Athena, and for everyone who believes that justice is greater than fear. It's this faith that transforms a fallen body into an unbreakable wall. And when Shiryu rises once more, the silence is shattered by a roar echoing beyond the battlefield, the dragon's roar, announcing that the impossible is about to happen. By the way, speaking of turning the impossible into reality, let me tell you something. The iRobot Roomba Combo J9 is like Shiryu among vacuums. It not only sweeps dust, but also mops, taking on the toughest dirt as if it were a golden armored enemy. Just imagine you're relaxing, watching Saint Seiya, while the Roomba does all the heavy lifting, leaving your home shining. It's almost like having a knight guarding your living room, except this one fights dust and stain. Back to the fight, Death Mask doesn't understand the strength that comes from sacrifice. He thinks power is just crushing the weak, ruling through fear, laughing at others, despair. But Shiryu proves otherwise. True power is born when you're willing to give everything, even your own life, for a greater ideal. When the dragon's cosmos explodes, it's as if the universe freezes for a second. His energy breaks through the limits of flesh, blood, and even logic. It's at this instant that the battle shifts. Shiryu's awakening isn't only physical, it's spiritual. It's as if he transcends pain, defies death, and connects directly to the cosmos that moves the stars. And with every strike he delivers, the dragon doesn't just wound his enemy, he writes, with sweat and blood, an eternal message that even in the face of the cruelest darkness, the light of justice never fades. This duel reminds us that Saint Seiya was never just about epic fights or shiny armors. It was always about resilience, faith, and the courage to rise when no one else believes you can. Shiryu, facing Death Mask, shows us that life may be brief, but ideals are immortal. And in the end, when he claims victory, it's not just a personal triumph, it's a lesson for all of us. Because if Shiryu, at the edge of life, could awaken, and defeat such a merciless enemy, who are we to doubt the strength that lies within each of us? But here's the question. Was Shiryu's true awakening really against Death Mask, or did the dragon only reveal a fraction of the power still hidden within him?